What is up, y'all? Welcome back. It is roster update day, and roster update number 7 was big. We figured it would be. We knew that SDS was going to go through, do a little defensive sweep, get some guys built up that needed the requisite boost, and they did not disappoint. So we're going to get into it position by position here. Let's see. I think I want to actually not be down here in this corner, though. Let me shrink myself and jump up here a little bit. How's that? I think that works better for what we're doing here. Got the dog cam on though too, because they've been kind of wilding out. Although, you know what, I'm gonna pop them off because with the defensive upgrades, we're gonna need to see what's going on there. So you two just behave, do the cute shit after the video so that I turn it back on for Twitch. By the way, I am live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Spore every Friday. Specifically for the updates though. Every other Friday I start in the afternoon. Today was a little bit different because of the trade deadline in MLB. I was doing a deadline special, so we're getting to this a little bit later, 6 o'clock Central Time. But let's just dive in. Let's talk about it, see what's going on. You see here that Garrett Cole gets nooched a bit. He got that big clutch buildup. By the way, based on what I'm seeing initially, I did a quick sweep of this, very quick. Not usually what I get to see. I'm coming in a little bit lighter than I normally do. I think they also did like a clutch and speed update along with the defense. So basically, let's call it a secondary skill update, right? Usually they focus on the core 4 for pitchers, which are their stamina, hit 9, K9, BB9, and the core 4 for hitters, which is their contact versus lefty and righty and power versus lefty and righty. So they went beyond the core 4 and went into the secondary stuff like clutch, like defense. So we're going to see a lot of that. That's going to help create some more moves during this update. Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff continue to go up. You see here, even Burns losing a bunch of his clutch. That certainly... That can hurt a little bit, though. That's going to make him a bit more wild and have a little bit more trouble when there's runners in scoring positions. So that's not good, especially for me. I joined a custom league and I drafted live series Burns. So I don't love this, but the per 9s are still on fire, which is excellent. And then B Woody gets a boost and he goes the other way with his clutch. So his performance with runners in scoring position, which is what the pitcher clutch is based off of, is much better than Burns' as it stands right now. Kevin Gausman, as you can see, gets a +1, including some clutch. By the way, it looks like they did some Homer 9 updates too. Even though Homer per 9 does not matter for MLB The Show purposes, it looks like they went in and fixed some, especially for some guys who are maybe very low, and it can help their overall a little bit. I think the impact has been lowered, so even like a 20-point boost wouldn't move it the way a 20-point K per 9 boost would, but it will still impact it. So I think we'll see that on a few guys where it actually does end up helping them. Couple points for Rodon. Ohtani gets another point, even though he loses a little bit on some of his more key statistics. And then Wheeler up. Peralta gets there. Now, I kind of, hemmed and hawed again. I still wasn't entirely sure. I gave him the old 84.5. The main reason was I didn't know if the secondary stuff, like how much they were going to do on secondary stuff. And I thought they might look at his composite, his full season, and say, you know what? Let's go ahead and get him there. Ends up, they get him there. I have no problem with this, and I have no problem technically being wrong because I put 84.5. Either way, the reason I don't care if I'm like wrong on one like this in a given week is because there was no room to invest anyway. You had to be in on Peralta weeks ago, so it's not like I cost anybody's stubs. The ones that bum me out are when I when I make a prediction that makes you guys go the opposite way, that would have gotten y'all some stubs. So I don't feel any concern on this one because we knew where he was going. Lance Lynn gets a boost, or gets nooched actually, because he loses a little bit on the stamina and walks, gets a clutch boost. Joe Musgrove gets nooched. I knew he wasn't going to go diamond. I was surprised that there was so much chatter that he would get there. He just hasn't been pitching as well lately. Robbie Ray now sets up for diamond, and that has to be among the top 3 craziest things you could have told me coming into this season. In a year that's had a bunch of crazy stuff, if you had told me Robbie Ray's going to contend for diamond, I would have laughed in your face and then probably made fun of you. Like, I would have said you're delusional. And that's why they play the games, baby, because you never know. He has developed so nicely. He has really worked on his game. His walk rate has been super improved, better than we've ever seen it with him. He's continued to be a strikeout beast, and he has been a gem for Toronto. Of course, they got Jose Barrios as well today. That will be reflected in the next roster update next week when they do transactions. But with Ryu, Barrios at the top, and then Manoah coming back on Saturday, I believe. Yeah, I think he's back the 31st. That's going to be a hell of a top four for Toronto. They've got a great shot to work their way up into that wild card. And, Scan, thank you so much for the big raid. Don't be surprised. Here's my hot take after the deadline. The Red Sox are going to miss the playoffs. So don't be surprised if the Jays maybe run all the way up and take the division. I'm going to say the Rays right now, but I don't think the Red Sox are going to make the playoffs. I don't think they did enough, and I don't know that Chris Sale is going to be their savior. Another 1-point boost for Trevor Rogers thanks to the secondary skills. 1 point for Bassett, Nooch for Morton, 1 point for Barrios. Nothing crazy here. Here we go. We got there. And I don't know if the pitching clutch kind of put it over the top. Probably not. We probably would have gotten there even with just the core 4 updates there. But this was a big hopeful. I'm glad that we stayed the course with Desclafani, even though he went 79 last time out. I'm still sticking by Molly, baby. This is what I had predicted, a 79. He's still pitching well. I would love to see like a gem, like 6 innings, 9 strikeouts type of deal. That would be huge. But as he keeps trucking along, I still think we're going to get there. So I'm holding firm. Kikuchi goes to 79, gets a nice big clutch boost. 79 for McCullers as well. I thought he'd actually get there. I'm actually a little bit surprised on this one. They came in a little light on the strikeout rate for him. I'm still surprised that it's not enough to get him there, but it was coming for 2 points, I guess, but I thought he had enough to get there. I will stay the course with him as well. 2-point boost for Alzolay, 2 points for Waino. As far as these two go, I would not see them as major hold for golds. I still, with the strikeout rate for Waino and just the overall volatility for Alzolay, I still think it's going to be tough for them. But between the two, I would rather bet on Alzolay. Even though Waino's been good. He's been really, really good. The thing of it is, his real-life goodness doesn't always translate into MLB The Show goodness because he doesn't strike guys out, and he's not just going to start doing it. So I still wouldn't really invest in him. 2 points for Marquez. He does set up for a nice hold for gold. Now, there is the dark cloud that hangs over that is Coors Field that can screw him at any moment, and that's the scary thing about investing in him. So be careful, but I do have him as a firm hold for gold. In fact, I invested myself this last time out because he was really nice and cheap, even though I didn't figure he would go gold this time. And then you got Taiwan going down 1, Stroh, Caprillion. This is an interesting one. I love this guy, man. He's been pitching so well for Oakland. All of a sudden, he jumps into a hold for gold level here that could really pop off. I'm going to see him as somebody that we're going to definitely want to be investing in for the update 2 weeks from now. So get your James Caprillion shares going. He just hit silver recently, gets another hot 3-point boost right here. He's going to have to pitch well for sure. There's no real margin for error, but if he keeps the strikeouts pushing up, he's got over a strikeout per inning and keeps those walks in line, he'll be gold by the end of the year. This was one I didn't have him for gold, but I was wondering if we could possibly get there. And this highlights exactly what I'm saying about the homer per 9 not necessarily giving you the same impact that it does if it was on a K9 or a homer or a hits 9 rather. Excuse me, because he got a 20-point boost there, and he got 14 on his stamina. Only 2 on his BB9. He got 2 points, which is good because he did lose some on his clutch, which negated it a little bit. But that's the thing. They had to catch up for his homer 9, but now he's going to have to do. He's going to have some strikeouts or limit his hits, and that's been something that's been tough for him. He's been kind of living off of control more so than command. Like the home run suppression, the lack of walks have been driving his season. I'm still a little nervous here. I'll go ahead and put him on the hold for gold. In fact, I am pretty heavily invested in him. The main reason I invested, though, was because he was 100 stubs. So it was a no-risk move. So I'm going to go ahead and hold the shares that I've got. But it is going to be tough. We have two things that we can easily key in on. Is he stifling hits? Is he getting strikeouts? If he's not doing at least one of those, he's not going to go gold. So we'll be able to kind of track him very easily. Luis Garcia, okay, this one's a scary one for me, y'all, because at any moment I think we can get the rug pulled out from us and they throw him into the bullpen. And at that point, the second he goes to RP, he loses like 5 points. Because when you go SP to RP, you just lose points. Simple as that. We're going to see that on the next page here if anybody got moved down. And I just don't think that they're going to push him for like 150 plus innings in the rotation this year, because they want to save something for October as well. And they have Christian Javier sitting right there. I still believe they're going to do that flip. We haven't even hit August yet. Obviously, that happens on Sunday. I do believe in the month of August, those two will switch. So be careful with this one. I mentioned it on the update predictions video that I did, that like I might jump out at any moment on this because I don't want to get whambeezied when they go ahead and move him to the bullpen. Sonny Gray's been struggling a bit. He had to lose his gold. Little nooch move there for Kyle Gibby. He's going to be a new Philadelphia Philly. He will not go gold in Philly, I don't believe. If anything, his home run's probably going to go up and he's going to pitch worse. Alex Wood gets +1. Logan Gilbert gets +3. Welcome to silver. This young buck has been pitching so well, man. He was a little bumpy initially, and everyone's like, oh, here we go, another rookie that doesn't know how to fucking transition to the majors. And it's like, okay, give him a second. Let him breathe. And he's settled in, and he's been an absolute beast for the Mariners. So he gets into silver. Welcome. Plesac down 1. Speaking of a young player getting into silver, Dylan Cease gets in here, but he too is a threat. Not that he's really a hold for gold, but he's also a threat to have the rug pulled out from under us, and he would go to RP, where he would probably go back down to bronze, and that's with Michael Kopech possibly taking his spot. I certainly think Kopech's going to get some starts in August and September to save the innings of some of these guys. I think Cease is definitely going to lose some starts, and Rodon might even. His velo's coming down, and Rodon's had massive injury issues throughout his career. So be careful there, both from a MLB The Show standpoint and from a fantasy standpoint, with regards to Rodon especially. Casey Mize gets 1 point, had an absolute gem yesterday. Man, it's been fun watching the Tigers. They've been playing really well. I am a diehard Tigers fan. I am still absolutely livid that they didn't trade Jonathan Scope, though. What a brain-dead fucking move that was. Or wasn't, as it were. 2 points for Wade Miley. You're probably not following Miley unless you have him on your fantasy team, or unless you're a Cincinnati Reds fan. He's been pitching really well. Look at that. 2.86 ERA, 124 whip. He's playing over his head a bit for sure. He's kind of like a Kyle Gibson type, where he's more of a finesse guy who probably doesn't deserve his sub-3 ERA, meaning that his true talent is more of a mid-3s type of guy. But he's got a 286, and the numbers are the numbers right now. Not that ERA is why he got upgraded. He got upgraded because he doesn't walk guys, and because his homer 9 and his clutch got a boost as well. A little nooch move from Minaya there, but he did get a Tops Now diamond. So if you're looking to use Minaya on the heels of his great run, now you have a diamond card. My boy Franklin, let's go. Frankie Montas. I know his name's actually not Franklin. I think it's Francelis. But Frankie gets into bronze. Oh, man, I do think he is a sneaky hold for gold. I really do. I love Frankie Montas. If you follow any of my work or anything, you know I've been on this guy for years. Huge fan. And when he's cooking, it doesn't matter who you throw against him. He could beat the Dodgers lineup at full strength when he's on, but when he's off, he loses to the Nats lineup without Juan Soto right now. So that's one of those guys that, like, the opposition doesn't matter. It's a matter of if that splitter's working for him. Domingo Germán gets 1. Joe Ross into silver with +3. Zach Gallen gets a hot -3. That's a tough scene right there. -1 for Jormont. Nooch move for Duffy. Gomber gets a couple. Welcome to silver. Paddock, frankly, I'm kind of surprised that Paddock's even holding silver. He's been uninspiring. I had heard yesterday, and we don't know exactly what was going on because it ended up not coming to fruition, but when we thought Scherzer was going to the Nationals, I'd heard Paddock as one of the rumored names. Turned out, obviously, none of it came to fruition, so we don't know, but that would have been, like, I think he's very flawed, right? He has like 1.5 pitches most days. So that's difficult to bet on, but that would have been a useful piece. Plus more, Paddock alone wouldn't have gotten Scherzer, but like Paddock and Campusano, I wouldn't have hated that for Scherzer, but they didn't want to buckle on giving Campusano or Robert Hassel, and that's why they didn't get the deal done. P. Sandy with the big move. 4 points up to a 76. You love to see that. He's been pitching so well that, he definitely needed to be upgraded. And thankfully they got to him. I think he also got a diamond for Tops Now, right? Chat, I think you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But Patrick Sandoval has been pitching so well. I think this was more catch-up than based on what he's done this period. They kind of looked at his overall numbers and said, we got to get him boosted. Kenta Maeda -1, Rich Hill -2. John Gray gets into silver, sticks around in Colorado. Now, I talked about this. When I heard that they weren't going to trade him, I was like, that's just so dumb. They're the dumbest organization in baseball. I'm not going to relent on the idea that they're the dumbest organization in baseball, because they absolutely are. But when I heard that John Gray was open about saying, I don't want to be traded, I want to stay here, I ride it out, see what's going on about a contract extension, I understood it a lot more, and I let the Rockies off the hook for that one. Because if I'm a contending team, I don't want to trade for a guy who's not interested in it. And I'm not calling him soft or anything like that. We're all human, right? And we have different emotions about things. Some guys are like, trade me, I can't wait to get into the pennant race, and I'm going to fucking crush for my new team. That's how Trevor Story was, and they didn't trade him. They're fucking idiots. But Gray didn't want to, so why would you force it, right? Like, these guys are not robots. They're not number-generating robots. If he doesn't want to go, if you're a contending team, you don't want to bring that on. And just from kind of like a human standpoint, why would you want to force somebody into something that they just desperately don't want to do? So I let them off the hook for that one, but the fact that they didn't trade Trevor Story is just so fucking brain dead. It makes absolutely no sense. The Rockies are the worst organization in baseball and one of the worst organizations in sports. Tony Gonsolin -1. Castillo only nooched. This one's a little bit surprising. I did mention in my review that I said that walks per 9 was going to be a bit of a problem, but he only lost 2 points on that. So I thought he was going to get two points overall. I thought he was going to go to a 77. I'm kind of surprised that he didn't. I think they're shortchanging him here. And the reason I think that is because, yes, he had those early struggles, and I understand punishing him for that. Those are the numbers. You got to do that. But the guy that we've seen now for like a month plus, we know that that's who he is. So I feel like you can be more aggressive in re-upping him closer to where he should be based on that, right? This isn't an out-of-nowhere guy who's having a hot stretch. This is a guy who we were regarding as one of the brightest young pitchers in baseball, who got off to a really slow start. But now you look at it for 2 months, dating back to early June 1st, he has a 1.95 ERA, which again, we know ERA is not the only thing. We're not talking about ERA from an MLB The Show standpoint, but he has a 9.5 K9. The walks are the problem. I did admit that. 3.9, that is high, but 47 hits in 69 in the third innings. That's a 6.1 rate. I think 3 points for hits and 1 point for strikeouts, that's tough. That's tough for me. So I'm a little surprised on that. I did say hold for gold because I thought he was going to get 2 points. I'm obviously going to tamp that down a little bit. I just smudged my glasses, and that's very annoying. I'm going to tamp that down a little bit. If you've got Luis Castillo's that you bought at bronze, just hold. But I don't think I would add a ton more right now, because now we're 5 points away, so we're probably 2 full updates away for him. Cobb gets +1. Welcome to silver. Here, this is what I'm talking about with the position change. Nothing happened, but he went from RP to SP, and he got 7 points. Be careful with Luis Garcia. Conversely, Christian Javier, when he goes back to SP, might just be gold with the position change alone. And in fact, I was going to say the same thing about Michael Kopech, but spoiler alert, he already got to gold. But he would have been somebody that would go from RP to SP and get gold once he goes into the rotation, but he already got there. Nick Pivetta gets a couple points. Mike Minor, again, we're not going to spend as much time on the back end unless I want to highlight somebody that I think can be a next silver and then maybe even a gold potential down the line. And in that case, Zach Thompson will be the guy that I would highlight. I absolutely think he's going to be silver sooner than later, and I wouldn't even rule out a potential gold run. The one thing that could stifle that would be an innings limit, and obviously the Marlins are not in contention, so if they shut him down at some point, that could be a problem. So I would say invest in him for silver, and if you want to do it for gold, just be be smart, okay? Don't go get 150, 200 plus shares of Thompson and say, I'm holding for gold, because they can pull the rug out from under you in a second, the Marlins can, by just saying he's shut down on September 10th, So be careful on that. But I do think he gets to silver probably next update. He's just been a beast this year. Johnny Cueto loses one. David Price gets one with the position change. So this is a really interesting situation here. He gets the position change back into starter, which still only nets him +1, because then they hit him hard with the hits 9, K9 dips, and a severe stamina dip because he has not been pitching much. I think it's been like 3 to 4 inning outings, so that's why they had to do him dirty like that. Tanner Houck gets +2. He got sent out, but it should be temporary. They're going to be trying to manage his innings, but frankly, I think they need him. I just said earlier in this video that I think they're not going to go to the playoffs with the team that they have constructed, especially if Sale doesn't come back and be like a god from day one. I just don't believe in their pitching. They need Houck to be part of that, but he just got sent out. 5 points for Alex Young just for position change. Tyler Anderson nooched. Big move for Touki Toussaint. Hopefully you got in on that. He was a common. He couldn't have been costing too much. And now you got a bronze here that you can either save for exchanges or flip. You got to put in the sell orders to get the benefit of it. You don't want to sell him at the quick sell 25, right? I believe that's what it is for bronze. But bronzes have been tracking high, y'all. I was doing flips on freaking Paul Sewald, Frankie Montas, and Eric Haas, and getting like 200 a pop. So Touki Toussaint being bronze now could really pay off. McKenzie and Cole Irvin nooched. Ryan Weather. By the way, this is a great example of why ERA does not inherently equal quality in MLB The Show. He's got a 3.62 ERA, and yet he's a silver, and he totally deserves it because he couldn't strike me out, and he gives up more hits than innings pitched, and so he's not that great skills-wise. He is getting a good ERA. Part of that's his home park. Part of that is some good luck. Part of that's good defense. But it doesn't translate in pure skills, and that's why he's a 72, despite pitching quite well this year. Ryan Weathers gets kind of murked here. He's been a little up and down, but we'll see how many innings he gets the rest of the way, especially. Damn, they took all the stamina away from Rasmussen. I was kind of enjoying using him with the high stamina that he had, but they go ahead and say, I don't think so. And now he's not even a reliever. They should have at least moved him back into the bullpen because he's not really a starter. I would have put him back into RP if you were going to take all that stamina from him, because now he's just completely useless. You can't even finagle using this in BR, really. I mean, we take bronze starters, so I guess you can, but a 34 stamina starter in BR, that means like in the windup of his first pitch, you're going to get the notice that he's tired. That's how little he's going to be able to throw. Brady Singer, Tyler Alexander go down. Josh Fleming gets a position change and a little love, although, no, that's probably neutral for the ratings. De Leon just, got DFA'd, so he's available. Kyle Muller only gets 4. I guess that's fair. A 4-point boost when you're a 67. You have 24 2/3. That's good. Stripling gets hammered. The homer 9 and clutch really gets dinged. But again, this shows you that clutch and homer 9 are not moving the needle a ton because he got absolutely trounced on those and he still got nooched. So, we don't have to take those too seriously. That's why they're secondary metrics. Flexen gets a little boost. Michael King gets a position change. Fulte, Wiley gets some love. I mean, he is basically he's Cole Irvin, but worse. I believe in Cole Irvin a little bit more, but he's doing the same kind of shit. It's working somehow for the Tigers, but I don't buy it at all. Tyler Migo gets a nice big 7-point boost. He's been pitching brilliantly. You can't see the numbers that they didn't put him in, but he's been very good. He could actually get silver. I could definitely see Migo getting silver. So I don't know what his price is at. He's kind of a newer card, so he might still be a little expensive. But if he's a cheap bronze, I could see him going silver if you want to invest. Even being 5 points away, he's pitching that well. Bailey Ober gets a big boost. Suarez gets a hell of a boost. 8 points. Despite losing some stamina, gets a massive hit 9, little bit of walks, fat clutch gain. Very nice there. Holloway gets the position change plus the heavy boosts. He goes up 11. That's massive. Martin Perez, nooched. Lyles, Lopez. Again, we're not going to get into these guys too much because we can't be making stubs off them. And frankly, unless you can get me paid, man, I don't care. Newest Texas Ranger, Spencer Howard. boom, bam, bam, and that's really it. Okay, that's starters, and then there's the new ones. Wait, Tyson Ross? Tyson Ross is back in the majors? What? Wow, okay. I had no idea. Ugh. Pain. I thought he was getting there, y'all. I'm not going anywhere, though. I'm not fucking leaving. I am not letting go of my Gallegos shares. I absolutely thought it was time. He's had a brilliant period. He did get, little love on his hit 9. I guess 77 K9 is pretty good for 10.5. I still thought it would be a little bit higher, but I guess I'm wrong on that. What I don't understand is how my man is losing walk rate. That's the part that I would need explained. He has a 1.9 BB9. How is this man losing walk? Like, what walk rate do you need to have to be in the 80s, for crying out loud? I don't quite understand that. So I'm a little miffed on that one there. Does get a little homer 9 and clutch. And again, that just further accentuates how little these move the needle, because he got 11 and 9-point boosts and he still got nooched. That said, I'm not going anywhere. He'll probably get a price tank, and we can swoop back in and get more, and you better believe that I will. Karen Chat gets nooched. Graveman gets +2, gets his team changed because he was traded with enough time. And then Tepera and Kopech go gold. These were two that were kind of, Tepera was a lock for me. That was one I did have going gold. And, we kind of were just waiting on that one. We thought he could get there last update, and he didn't. This one, he came out off the IL, pitched very well, boom, got there. And then Kopech was a surprise, a very pleasant surprise. I put him at 79, but I did declare him as a major hold for gold. So if you didn't get in on this one, I got to be honest, that you kind of misread, the tea leaves there. Because, if I put somebody at 79 and I say they're a major hold for gold, that's your last opportunity to get in. Because if I'm wrong to the positive side, which I am, I was wrong, I was too low, then all of a sudden you can't get in. But he gets fat upgrades, nice big hit 9, a little love on the K9, and then the homer and the clutch get a big boost. -10 on the Stammy, but 38 still good. So he's still a BR god, even as an 80. Colin McHugh, I thought could get there. I didn't put him at gold. I ended up actually putting him at a 78. He got more love than I thought. The only downside here is that he is on the IL with with arm fatigue. It's just dead arm, so I don't think it's going to be a long time. And I do see him as a hold for gold. What I said on the update video was, you don't have to get in right now because you have a whole nother 2 weeks. First off, he has to come off the IL. And then if he doesn't come off the IL in time to put up some numbers before that update, you have even more time. So he's not a mission critical buy, but I've got 90 of them and I'm just hanging out and I'm not going anywhere on those. I'll say that. And then Stammen 1, Javier +1. And then again, Javier, I really think he will go gold just by moving the SP when he gets back in the rotation. Now, it still has to happen, right? They've not said it. So I am speculating, but I just cannot be convinced that they're going to let Luis Garcia ride out the full season as a starter. There's no way. I would be beyond surprised. So I think Christian Javier will start at some point in August and then through September, and he'll go back to SP. And with the gains he's gotten as a reliever, he'll become a gold just by the position change. -4 for Seth Lugo. Ooh, that's a tough scene. I got him in MBL. Oh man, that hits hard. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. I lost one of my golds. Thanks for nothing, Seth Lugo, with your slow ass delivery. Yimmy gets nooched. What was his position? Oh, from CP to RP. Never mind. Kittredge gets +3 into silver. He could be getting some saves in Tampa Bay at this point. They traded Diego Castillo. Nick Anderson is on a rehab, but they're going to have a little interim period there. So if you're a fantasy person, Kittredge might be somebody you pick up. It's going to be a mess, though, the way it always is with Tampa Bay. Once Nick Anderson gets back, he's probably going to be mostly the guy. But Kittredge has pitched very well this year. And now with this update, he's a little bit more BR useful, because before that, I was like, I don't know, man. He didn't really have a great hit 9 or K9, but now I could see using him. And I like the 88 clutch. That really helps when you bring a guy in BR with a runner on second or third. -3, man, speaking of BR, he was a BR god last year. Chris Martin I would take no matter what. I didn't care how stacked my bullpen was. It didn't matter. I had to have Chris Martin. And this year, not only has he been mediocre in real life, but I've sucked with him in MLB The Show too. Position change for Romano means he went from CP to RP, probably for Brad Hand, which makes sense. He doesn't get to silver, which is a little surprising. Did I have him going silver? I think I did. Let me see. Let me make fun of myself if I was wrong. Oh, no, I didn't even have him for an update. Oh, okay. Well, you know why? Because he only got 3 hit 9, and then the other thing was the secondary skills. So it's whatever. But he'll go silver at some point. He's been pitching pretty well lately, so I think he will go silver at some point. Andrew Chafin. Guys, this is one of the sneakier pickups. And every year, we see a lot of these middle relievers change hands, and they don't really move the needle, right? If you're an MLB fan, even if you're close to a diehard, you see all these moves and you're like, okay, whatever. Nothing to see there. Andrew Chafin, solid lefty. You acknowledge that he's a good pitcher, but you don't really think about it. And then every year, 2 or 3 of those guys pop off and they have like the best 20 innings of the season, because relievers are volatile like that and they can spike an excellent 20 innings. And when if he had done it on Chicago, we wouldn't really notice, A, because they're not a contender, and B, because he's already there. But when they change teams and you have the like stats where you can see since joining a team, it really stands out. And for some reason, I just have a feeling. It's mostly because Oakland just gets this sort of stuff, but I could see Chafin being one of those guys, and he just goes off for them in their bullpen. So there's nothing to really invest for. I do think he'll eventually go silver, but I just, from a real life standpoint, I liked that pickup for them. Heath Hembry gets a hell of an upgrade. One of the few guys that Cincinnati's been able to rely on in their bullpen. Jeffrey Springs is the left-hander that might get some saves in the interim while Nick Anderson is on rehab. Garrett Whitlock +4, Steckenrider +4. Steckenrider had a little bit of like fringe fantasy upside for like 5 minutes before they traded for Diego Castillo, because I thought Paul Sewald was going to get the job. I was like, he's going to get the job, and then Steck could maybe get a couple saves here and there. Well, then they got Diego Castillo, and then I'm like, well, now not even Paul Sewald is necessarily that fantasy relevant, because I think they're just going to give the job to Castillo since he's done it before. Wendelken has had a rough season. I'm terrible with him in the show. -3, deserved. John Curtis up 1, Tyler Wells up 1. I think he was just DFA'd today. Oh, my boy goes down. He'd been struggling. I was so happy with how well he was pitching to start the season, but he has hit a bit of a rough patch, so he leaves silver. But hey, he did what we needed him to do. We invested in Loizaga to go silver for the team affinity exchanges. We got that done, so he served his purpose for us. Hopefully he can rebound and get back to silver again at some point this year. David Bednar probably needs a position change, although I'm not roasting MLB The Show. They couldn't have known Rich Rod wasn't traded prior to when they locked the roster update, but he is going to be their closer now, and I think he'll go silver. And if you haven't gotten him in fantasy yet, I mean, if you have open waiver wire where you can just pick up guys whenever, go get him now if he's not already gone. But you should have been planning for this, because there was no world where Rich Rod was still going to be on that team. And when we hit the deadline and he still was, I was apoplectic. I could not believe that Pittsburgh didn't trade Rich Rod. And then the news trickled in later that Atlanta got him, and I was like, okay, thank God. And, you know, he does have years of control, but he's 31, and Pittsburgh is like 31 years away. So by the time they're good again, Rich Rod will be like their retired announcer, for crying out loud. Nick Sandlin gets boosted. Oof, that's tough. I'll tell you what, he's still BR useful as a lefty. I'll still draft him for sure, but that is a hit right there. You got to be careful. You don't want to be using him in too many sticky situations either with 54 clutch. 4 points for Trevor Richards. Actually, this kind of makes him a little BR sneaky. Dominic Leone, Genesis Cabrera gets news. If he doesn't have his fucking blue glove, I swear to God. Joe Kelly gets +1. Brad Boxberger. There's a freaking throwback. You know who they need to put? They need to give us the silver Brad Boxberger in the BR pack. SDS, if you're listening, throw that out there for us. You've been amazing. Listen, no shade on what you've been doing in the BR silver and gold packs. I've been over the moon excited about it. But hey, bring back Boxberger. That card was amazing. We all love that card. Cole Sulcer gets boosted. Dylan Floro gets nooched. Whistler, Loop. This is a nice little boost. This nice little boost right here, speaking of a BR god, even as a 69, he was very nice. But now you make him even better, going to be somebody you want to use in BR plenty. Josh Stomont, Nuge, Nelson +4. He's been pitching really well. I was really, and this just shows the difference between the two games. I was blown away the other day when I learned that he's a gold in out of the park baseball. They have their thing called Perfect Team where they do live series cards and they do updates. And Jimmy Nelson was a gold, and I was like, damn, really? And I tell you why, because I was like, that's really peculiar to me. He is pitching well, but is he really supposed to be a gold? Well, they have something called movement, which basically is their homer per 9 metric. And you see he's allowed 0 homers, and it's very important in their game. In MLB The Show, homer per 9 doesn't even matter. It literally, like, you could have a 0 homer per 9 and you're not more likely to give up homers. They've taken it out of online play. But in out of the park baseball, it's very, very, very important. So the fact that he's gone almost 30 innings without a homer gives him very good movement, and that's why he got gold. But I like seeing the vast differences between the two games, where here he just got a big boost and he's still a bronze, and in their game, he's a gold. Winkler and Doolittle get hit. This has been one of the biggest bummers of the year. I love Sean Doolittle. He's a great guy, and his off-the-field persona is why I like him so much, and I root for him, and he's a great pitcher. It's been a bummer to see how much he's struggled because it has not been a good year for him. He's been a big part of those problems with the Cincinnati bullpen. Hector Neris gets a position change. Yarlin Garcia with a hot boost there. All of a sudden, this lefty could be useful in BR. Luis Patino. Now, okay, this is the thing that, like, I want to understand a little bit more, and I'm saying this with a little bite, but please don't mistake this as like shitting on SDS, because I'm not. I respect what they do. If anything, people say I cape for them or whatever. I try to assess things fairly, but I'm going to question this one a little bit. How is Drew Rasmussen going to be listed under SP when he's like started like 2 games for 1 inning each? Hang on, I'm actually looking up the innings so I can be technically correct. He started 2 games during which he completed 3 innings and 2 innings. Okay, so not 1 inning each, but still not really starts, right? And Luis Patino is still an RP when 6 of his 8 outings have been starts. I just don't quite understand that. I'm like, where's the disconnect there? And his last 3 starts have been 5 1/3, 5 1/3, and 6 innings. And while we're there and we're moving him back to SP, why are his ratings so low too? Because he's also popping off. So it's just a little bit of a disconnect for me there. And again, it's not the end of the world. We're talking about a bronze, and he would still probably be a bronze, maybe a silver if he went to SP. He might be like right at 75. So again, don't take this as anger or like I'm snapping off on them. I'm just like, why is he still RP though? It doesn't really make sense. So we'll see. Anyway, Drew Smith gets a fat upgrade. Holy smokes, man. This guy, Mets fans, tell me about him. Is he actually good? I don't really know anything about Drew Smith. He is going off, though. 2.70 ERA, .96 whip. He was only a 58. He needed a big boost, but damn, 11 points is really nice. Mike Myers, one of our sneak tip. We got him from common to silver last year, and that was one of our big investments because he stayed common forever, and they finally put him silver at the very last update, if I recall correctly. Victor Gonzalez goes down a few points. Delios Guerra, +4 for him. Kyle Zimmer down, Wander Suero down, Jake Brent's up. Nick Wittgren down, Funkhauser up, nice. Go Tigers. Espino way down, and position change is a big part of this. This is not just based on these ratings. This is from leaving SP. JP Fireisen +1. He's on the IL right now. He should be back soon, though. Colomé down. Colomé had a tough week against my Tigers, dude. That series, Twins and Tigers, with 2 teams that have like nothing that they're playing for, was one of the best series I've seen all year. I'm not just saying that as a Tigers homer. The first 2 games were extra innings. Both of them were 6-5, one of which Eric Haas had a game-tying grand slam. The next game, the Tigers, the third game of the series, the Tigers were up, I believe, 10-0. The Twins came all the way back and I believe tied it at one point, and then the Tigers ended up still winning. But just a absolute bananas series with some of the worst bullpen play you would ever see. I mean, that's what creates such a great game there. Yeah, it was 10-0, And then they made it 10-6. Okay, they didn't come all the way back. Wait, because then it was 13. They made it 13-12. The Tigers were still leading. So Tigers never lost the lead, but it was still just an absolutely insane game. And then Sessa, Fulmer just back today. Or back this week, I should say. Pitched Tuesday and Thursday. Dylan Maples +7. Could become a bigger part of the Cubs bullpen now that Kimbrel, Tepera, and Chafin are gone. Matt Foster -2. We were talking about this on the trade deadline show because one of them got traded and Matt Foster's the other. But Cody Hoyer and Matt Foster, the way they pitched last year, you would have thought they were going to become, two of the next big hot things in middle relief, and they were going to really be great setups for Liam Hendriks. Neither has panned out this year. That said, that's the volatility of relievers, and I wouldn't be surprised if both of them were studs next year. So that Hoyer Madrigal for Kimbrel deal, that was a really good deal for both clubs. Blake Taylor gets a little boost. Archie Bradley. Eesh. The ERA isn't bad, but a 148 whip and 5 K9 is brutal, dude. Jose Alvarez. Eric Lauer, not SP anymore. I guess he's in the bullpen because Brett Anderson and Hauser are pitching, but he's going to get more starts. He should probably be SP, but it's not the end of the world. Dylan Tate, a couple points. Dylan Tate was the moonshot god. No longer. Now he wouldn't qualify. Good thing he didn't get that upgrade before the moonshot. Joe Smith gets absolutely obliterated. He's had a rough season. Now, obviously, he's been better than this throughout his career, but he is older. This just might be who he is at this point. We'll have to see. Cishek -5. Yikes. Joe Jimenez -2. Deserved. Tired of that guy as a Tigers fan. Chatwood, Anderson, Valdez. I'm looking for something to care about right now in this back end here. We're not really seeing. Phil Bickford. Freaking Dodgers, dude. Of course. Former first rounder. They just pluck him off the scrap heap and they turn him into a freaking stud. Get the fuck out of here, Dodgers. Assholes. Santillan could be a big part of the Cincinnati bullpen down the line because he could solidify what they've got going on for sure. Keegan Thompson. Nothing really to see here. Nothing really to see. Simber, a couple points. Still not a bronze, though. Chassin, then a lot of big dips there. Keep an eye on Finnegan, though. He might actually work his way back to bronze. Not back to, but get to bronze. He's going to be their closer, and he's actually been pitching pretty well of late. I know he got hit here. I think a lot of it is that clutch and the stamina, but he's been pitching better. I could see him actually moving up if you like micro investing. And then any new relievers of note? Not really. Okay. All right. Carrying on here with the closers. Liam Hendriks goes up 1. I actually thought he might get 2. I think that's what I put him for. Did I put him to 89 on my sheet? Yeah, I thought 2. I mean, it's whatever. I mean, he got the upgrades I thought he'd get, so it's all right. Honestly, the Homer 9 might have kept it from going to 2. It's no big deal. Craig Kimbrel, great season. He's actually going to be joining this same team here, the White Sox. In fact, what I heard, my Twitch chat just let me know, in 20 minutes they're going to do an update with the trades that came in at the end of the deadline, which is very cool that they're going to go in and do that right away instead of making us wait a week. I think that's awesome. Big ups to them for working overtime on a Friday. Matt Barnes gets 2 more points. Remember when y'all were afraid that he wasn't going to go up? And now here he is as an 87. Trust. -1 for Chapman. Good. Fuck off. +1 for Raisel Iglesias. There was talks of him maybe getting traded because the Angels, I guess, are giving up. They traded Heaney. Diego Castillo goes gold, baby. Let's freaking go. I was very happy about this one. I did have him predicted. I just, I kind of thought he was going to get there last time, I think. I think I put him on update 6 to go gold, didn't I? Oh, no, I had 79. Okay, I'm a genius. Never mind. I forgot I'm a genius. My bad. Well, I mean, actually, he didn't go 79, so I'm not that much of a genius. You should at least be right if you're gonna call yourself a genius, idiot. Anyway, Edwin Diaz. Remember when we thought he could go diamond? That was a cute time in our lives. Rich Rod goes +1. Here's the thing. I'd like to say he's hold for gold, but my man could not strike me out. I know I used that joke about somebody else earlier, but I'm tough to strike out, baby. Actually, no, I'm not. It would be so easy to strike me out. It's not even funny, dude. Now, he might get in the second update. Oh, wait, never mind. I guess they're keeping both. No, because they don't have this one yet. So in the second update, he might get a position change back to RP, which is kind of funny because I think Diego Castillo is going to be their closer. So he's going to go from RP to CP to RP in the span of 2 hours. That's really freaking funny. But he does get a nice 4-point boost, and that's the important part because he was a bronze and he got a hell of a jump there. So hopefully you got in on some Paul Sewald because those bronze ones can really pay off. I mentioned it earlier. Bronzes were tracking high prices. Silvers were tracking high prices. You buy a guy at a bunch of bronze, then you keep him into a silver, you could really pay off on that. Now, the only downside is you have to put in the sell orders, and that can be a little bit tedious if you order too many, but it's worth it, baby. We're trying to make that money. Ian Kennedy will get a team change in the next update because he went out to Philly. Well, Nooch move for him. Nooch move for Hudson, also traded out to San Diego. +3 for Ranger Suarez. He goes into their closer's role. He's been really good. He's been quietly pitching very well for them. A deserved update here. Now, as far as hold for gold goes, he's 5 points away. He's not a crazy strikeout guy. He could strike me out. I'm not going to use that one again. But I just don't know if he's got enough heat to find 5 points. So I'm going to say don't. And by the way, Sewald, I should have said, he does have hold for gold upside. Pardon me. I would absolutely invest in him. And in fact, if you invested for bronze to silver and you're not hard up for those stubs, maybe you just hold and see where it goes from here because he's been pitching very well. +2 for Reyes. He's taken so long to get to silver, and I guarantee that he needed the homer 9 and clutch to get there because, my God, he has walked so many batters that he was just forever bronze until they decided to do the homer 9 and clutch sweep. So good on them there. Soria is going to be leaving the team. He's going to Toronto, but he gets -2. Anthony Bass gets nooched. Hansel Robles gets nooched. Will also get a new team. +1 for Bard. Why didn't they trade their 47,000-year-old closer? Way to go, Colorado. You did great. +1 for Soto. All-Star. 68 All-Star. Sick. -3 for Amir Garrett. Still awesome. Please don't beat me up. And then who are these people? I don't know. I know Brian Garcia, but whatever. Any new closers? Nope. Why is Brian Garcia listed as our closer along with Soto? I don't think he's getting save opportunities. It doesn't matter. Let's move on to catcher. Nooch for Posey. -3 for Real Muto. Hey, when you're going to bring in a bunch of diamonds, you got to start taking some guys out. He's been okay. Nobody's going to say, like, oh, this is the worst year ever for Real Muto. But he obviously had to come down. I think it totally makes sense. And he could get back up there. Maybe we start talking about investing in him down the line. But right now, he had to come down for sure. +1 for Will Smith. Nooch for Perez. I know a lot of y'all still like him to get to diamond eventually. Not unless he perks up against righties, y'all. He's a heavy platoon guy. It's the Jesse Winker situation all over again, but reversed, where he's awesome against lefties and not as good against righties. So until you see that change there, you can't do it. Max freaking Stassi, baby. We've been investing in him for a minute now. I hope you got in on this train. This one was one that we got in on ground floor a long time ago. A couple injuries derailed it a little bit, but you just stick with the patience. I believe in the talent, and he comes through. Let's go. Jacob Stallings gets there as well. He's been quietly hitting a lot better. Here's the beauty with him. He only has a 718 OPS. Don't need to hit that well when you're one of the best defensive catchers in the league. I think he deserved gold just for that crazy-ass grand slam that he hit against Edwin Diaz alone. That pitch, keeping that pitch fair, maybe deserves its own diamond card, like a singular moment diamond card, because that was nuts. Contreras, narrowly avoids going down to silver there. Actually, I want him to go silver. Sorry, Cubs fans. I mean, listen, your season's over. I want him to go silver because he's a BR god. Narvaez +1. Gomes up, new Oakland A, good pickup for them. McCann has really found his footing. I know 666 OPS is not very good. He started the season so brutally bad that it was pretty much going to take the whole year for him to come back. And I'm not trying to suggest that he's been a god since then. He's been kind of up and down still, but like it was looking like he was just going to have an impossibly bad season. And now all of a sudden he's like basically just below league average. So good on McCann for getting himself set. Sanchez +2, big +4 for Eric Haas. This dude just does not quit, man. His power's been off the charts. He needed a big fat upgrade. We had him going silver here, and it's a big boost. Now, can he go gold? He can. Am I going to invest in him for gold? Probably not, just because I do worry about that. You see that contact versus righties? There's a little bit of a Mike Zunino situation, who's, speaking of, there he is. Do they look familiar? What's the big difference? Zunino's defense is a lot better. So if Zunino can't get there, I don't think Haas is necessarily going to be able to get there. In fact, the main difference between these two, why is Zunino worse than Haas? It's the vision. Because what Haas lacks in defense, he makes up for in vision, which I think gives him a little bit of a leg up. But the bottom line is, for those two guys, they have tragic flaws that I think is going to keep them from gold. Unless you see Haas start getting a bunch of hits against righties, do not invest in him for gold. Tyler Stevenson gets... Oh, by the way, Mitch Garver has quietly exploded back onto the scene. +3 for him. +3 for T-Steph. Nooch for Mejia. +1 for T-Murph. Nito gets a couple. Diaz nooched. Casali nooched. Trevino, Terrence, Varsho. +2 for Varsho. I thought maybe you could get more. I think I had him going, to 71 maybe? Let me see. Where'd I have Varsho? I had 71. It's whatever. You know, I'm one off there. The bottom line is he's still 5 points away from silver. He was going to be 4 points if I was right. So it's still not super investable right now. But if he stays hot, we could have a September silver for sure. Jake Rogers, Ben Rohrbet gets +4. Good for him. And Wilmer Perez. I do not know who that guy is. All right, Vladdy gets 4 more because he's an absolute god. Holy cow. There's a big defensive upgrade. Max Muncy also gets a fat defensive upgrade, moves up to a 92. Holy shit, because he also got a massive offensive upgrade. What a freaking card this is now. My God, that is beautiful. Matty O, unfortunately, he's kind of reversed his platoon recently. He's tearing the cover off the ball against righties, or against lefties, and struggling a bit against righties. I thought he would actually go up. I had him going up 2 points to a 91. Maybe I didn't pay enough attention to his splits there, because that's a tough scene right there. I didn't think he'd get hit against righties as much as he did, is really what it ended up being. So I was wrong. My bad. Freef God gets 1. Alonso gets 1. He's setting up a potential diamond. If he stays hot, he can get there, but I didn't see it for him yet. So maybe you sold on the hype, because it was definitely out there to sell on. I think he was up trending over 4K at some point. Joey Votto is a man possessed right now. Can he get to diamond? I don't know, y'all, because it is pure platoon. I said Sal Perez was like Jesse Winker earlier, except reversed. This is just Jesse Winker 2.0, because it's dominant against righties, brutal against lefties, mediocre defense. So it's the exact same thing. Be careful. I love the Votto-sance that he's been going through. It's been awesome, but I don't want to get caught up investing in this. Hopefully you sold your Jared Walsh's, man. My man's been struggling a bit. I was able to get all mine out for between 2,500 and 3,000, but now he loses 2 points. Obviously, he has no chance to go diamond at this point without a huge renaissance in the latter months there. Finally, Ryan McMahon gets there. We knew the defense could get him. That was it. If he wasn't doing if they weren't doing defense this week, I would not have predicted him to go gold. This was all based on the fact that they were doing the defensive update. So hopefully you got in on this one, because not everybody was certain about the defense thing that was going to happen. So I think we got a little extra info there that we played into the big payout. Goldie goes 1. He's now back to Goldschmidt instead of Paul Silverschmidt. Abreu nooched. Rizzo nooched. Hoskins. Yo, Hoskins, chill out, man. Stay silver. You're unbelievable in BR. Stay silver. Don't be going on a hot streak, okay? Don't get cute and be like, oh, I'm going to do my job better than normal. No. Relax. You're good where you are. 78 for Josh Bell, +1 for Mancini. Mancini's just still one hot streak away, y'all. It's bubbling, but it's not quite there. I think I had him going. Yeah, I had him going to a 79, so I missed by a little. Bottom line is, it was going to take 2 updates no matter what. He is a hold for gold. Ooh, a little defensive love for Zimmerman. It's not enough to help, though, because his contact goes way down, and his clutch does too. But he does get nooched to 76. Big update for Darren Ruff. He is quietly and just Add him to the laundry list of Giants that, like, you know the name, but you don't expect them to be good, that just casually has a 928 OPS. Okay, dude, whatever. You're awesome now. And he gets a fat upgrade to silver. Good for him and good for them. They've been playing their asses off. And who doesn't want to root against the Dodgers? So go Giants, baby. Let's go. +1 for Dahlbeck. My boy Seth Brown nooched. Tough part here is his playing time about to dry up because that Marte move pushes him out of right field because Laureano's going to go to right, Marte in center. Seth Brown's going to be struggling for playing time. Now, he'll mix in here and there still, but it's going to be a lot tougher than what he was doing. Little nooch move there for Tellez. +1 for O'Hearn. 4 for G-Man Choi. +1 for my boy Gavin Sheets. Connor Joe gets a nice little tops now. I think I saw a diamond for him. +3 for Andrew Vaughn. I'm still waiting for the big, like, holy crap, is he on fire, Andrew Vaughn streak that we haven't quite seen. But I still fully believe in this kid, by the way. You come up in the majors, you hit a 754 OPS your first year. That is good. We have to stop thinking that if a prospect doesn't come up and set the world on fire, that they're dog shit. The majors are hard. It's very rare when guys come up and they play that well instantly. The fact of it is, he was being jerked around at the beginning of the year by his awful manager, and now he's been a bit more steady with his playing time, and he's really taken advantage of it. I like his growth this year. He's dealt with the ups and downs very well. This game is a game of failure, and he has dealt with them quite well. Hey, I undersold Nagowski, man. I had him going up to a 67. They said, we got a nice 69 for him here. So that was a common getting upgraded to a big fat boost. Hopefully you got in on that. And Curtis Terry is the only new guy. He's DHing a little bit for Texas. Moving over to second base. Patty Boy, nice damn Plesac you got there. Jose Altuve gets a couple points because he gets some defensive love, among other stuff, but the defense really helped. I thought we'd get there, y'all. I thought we'd get there with some defensive love. We did get the fat defensive boost, so I'm not mad about that, but it comes up just short. I'm not going anywhere, baby. I'm sticking with my crony without a doubt. As my chat points out, by the way, with respect to Andrew Vaughn, also playing out of position. Hey, kid, welcome to the majors. Go play the outfield. What? I don't know how to play the outfield. Figure it out. So, just hats off to him all the way. But with crony, he doesn't quite get there. I'm okay with it, y'all. I thought he would. I predicted him. Obviously, I don't predict stuff that I don't believe in, so I obviously believed that he would. He comes up a bit short, and I bet you that damn clutch cost us. And I didn't know they were doing a clutch update. Now, I don't know that I would have predicted him to not get it if I'd have known that, but that's what got us, I think. And even if it didn't, let's pretend it did so that I can feel better about myself, okay? Deal? Deal. Got it. Colton Wong +2. I don't really think he can go diamond, but he is playing very well. And he's kind of like the second base version of Jacob Stallings, although his arm is pretty shitty. But he's the same kind of guy where it's like he doesn't have to be off the charts offensively to be an 83 because his defense is so strong. But that said, he is playing pretty well offensively. I don't want to denigrate what he's doing, but obviously he's not having like the craziest year. He has 8 homers and 7 steals, which is good. He's also been hurt a lot, unfortunately. David Fletcher +2. Remember when David Fletcher was like bottoming out? He was in silver and like he was hitting like 240 or some shit. Maybe not that low, but he was hitting low. It was bad, y'all. And he has rebounded all the way. Guys like this, it can be hard at times, but you just gotta trust them because like the one thing that this man does is make contact, and it just didn't seem right that he was going to hit under like 280, even if it was the emptiest 280 ever. And as recently as June 12th, he was hitting 255. And then he started a big hit streak where he hit in 26 straight. And he had a 454 average during that period. And then the hit streak got broken up, but then over his last 37 games, he's hitting 381, 404, 510. He even has 2 homers in that time. He's completely turned around his season. Unfortunately, hasn't done shit for the Angels because they just aren't good, but well done by Fletcher. And no, he's not going to be a lightning diamond. Shut up. Who wants that with like a 6 power? Get real. Tommy Edman gets nooged. Chris Taylor gets boosted to gold. We knew that the market was there. There was no real investment there if you weren't in early. Brandon Lau goes to gold. Let's go, baby. This one was a nice one. This one was paying dividends throughout most of the week. You could still get in on this one. The market didn't fully believe, so hopefully you got in because there was ample room to do so. Nico Horner +2 is his doppelganger. They're going to be Spider-Man memeing with Nick Madrigal getting there. It's like two of the same player, kind of. Although Eric Longenhagen, our prospect guy at Fangraphs, was on our deadline show, and I mentioned how similar they are, and he said, yeah, kind of, except Nico Horner's much better defensively, and he can move around as like a super util, whereas Madrigal is a second baseman only and not very good at that. Rougned Odor, this is another one. This one isn't as surprising as some of the other ones I've talked about, like Robbie Ray possibly being diamond and such. But if you told me that Rougned Odor was going to work his way back up to silver this year, I wouldn't have believed you. Here's the reason I wouldn't have believed you. If you had also thrown in the fact you said, hey, he's going to work his way back up to silver, I say, okay, he's going to hit like 25 homers against righties or something. You say, no, he's going to work his way back up to silver because of his defense and because he's going to crush lefties. And I just said, what kind of drugs are you taking, and do you have any left to share with me? Because that would have been insane. And that's why they play the games. Because it's just absolutely insane. Great work by him, though. Hats off, man. Hats off to Odor. I had written him off completely, and I feel justified based on the production. But sometimes guys just turn around their suckiness, and that's exactly what he did. So good on him. Kike does not get there, doesn't even get particularly close. This one's a little interesting to me because I thought he had some defensive love that he could have gotten. Now, I didn't have him to gold. I had him as like 79, and then I said he could maybe get it. This is very light. And the one thing I thought was his arm accuracy could get boosted because it's a 64, and yet he's made no throwing errors, and he's tied for fourth in assists. I thought that would be enough to at least push that back into the high 70s, and yet no dice. So, okay, I guess not. Cesar Hernandez +2, +1 for Josh Harrison, new Oakland A, +4 for Garrett Hampson. That's only defensive based. His offense has been brutal lately. Nooch move for Wilmer, +2 for Jed Lowry. Kevin Newman gets +3 with some big defensive and speed love and the vision going way up because the rest of his shit actually got hammered. Toe gets a nice 3-point boost. Dylan Moore, I know it's his speed that got updated, but I'm just going to pretend. I'm going to close my eyes and pretend it's that grand slam that got him upgraded because that was so sick. I mean, he hasn't done shit offensively besides that grand slam, so speed was the only thing they could really update for him. Eli White gets a defensive and speed boost. Keep an eye on Eli White, y'all. He's going to play a lot more in Texas with Joey Gallo's departure. He's got some sneaky skills. I see the 182 average there, and you're probably like, okay, whatever, Paul. He's been a little bit unlucky with his batting average. He got a little bit of pop. He got a lot of speed. I think he could be something. And if you're in a deeper fantasy league, deep, I'm talking 15-team mixed league, AL only type, you might want to consider jumping on the Eli White train. And if you're in a 12-team mixer, just put him on your watch list. You don't have to get him right now, but just keep an eye. Gavin Lux +1, that's only based on the speed. He's been awful this year. Kyle Farmer is popping off. And, their shortstop position has been really tough all year, and it's not solidified just because he's had a good run, but he's at least given them a nice period of quality at shortstop. He's a solid glove, and his bat's been popping off, particularly against lefties of late. Jonathan India gets a position change. He's been great too. This is another rookie that's dealt with the ebbs and flows of being a major leaguer, and we've really seen him develop. Sorry, I almost spilled a drink there. On the same level of what I was talking about with Andrew Vaughn. And I really like watching that maturation in real time. We always want, like I said, we always want their prospects to come up as finished products. Sometimes watching them learn on the job is fun, though. Obviously, if you got them on your fantasy team and they're struggling, you're like, come on. But if you're just kind of observing as a baseball fan or analyst, it can be a lot of fun to really see how they grow, how they adjust. I'm a big Tigers fan, as you guys well know. Akil Badu's transformation has been stunning to watch. I can give you an at-bat of his from April and one from today, and you'd say it's two different players that just happen to look the same. And I think India and Vaughn have both had similar transformations where they've really figured things out on the fly. So nice little boost for him here. I think he should get to silver by the end of the year. His stats aren't listed here, but he's been good. He's been really good. Valaika, Guillorme gets +2, Defoe +2. B. Millie getting nooched. How dare you? Do not ever not update B. Millie. Double negative, but just always update him. Just always up. Never nooch, never down. B. Millie, always up, okay? If they're going to go in and they're going to fix some things as far as the transactions go, give him plus 500 on his power for that freaking walk-off grand slam. That was fucking awesome. Actually, I don't know. Was it a grand slam? Whatever it was awesome. It was awesome. I love B. Millie. He's one of my absolute favorite players in the game. I know people are like, a journeyman bronze is. MLB The Show is part of why he's one of my favorite players. And we've talked about this before, how we develop fandoms via this game. I used to not really like Joey Gallo. I'll admit it. I was like, this dude's overhyped. He hits, my body weight, which is not good. And yeah, he's got the power, but dude's overhyped. MLB The Show comes around, or he starts coming around in MLB The Show, and his cards become godly, and I took to it. I love this guy. He's awesome. He's a BR god. I learned from MLB The Show that he's actually really good defensively, sneaky good speed, and I became a huge fan. Same with B. Millie, to obviously a lower degree. Joey Gallo's a superstar. Brad Miller's just like a solid, glue guy on your team, but he's so fun to root for. He's so good. He's good for like 2 or 3 electric runs during the season too, where he's just untouchable for 3 weeks to a month. Always fun. Renhefo up 1, McKinstry. I learned something about McKinstry today. I was editing my writer Jeff Zimmerman's Mining the News piece, where he goes through and finds all these news tidbits. Apparently, Zach McKinstry was closing his eyes on contact, and so they're like, "Hey, they showed him this. They showed him this tape. Like, do you know that you don't see the ball because you close your eyes?" He's like, "Hey, I should probably change that." So he has tried to keep his eyes open now. It's a little bit of an adjustment. So it hasn't quite turned into a bunch of stats yet, but maybe he'll get even better now that he's leaving his damn eyes open when he hits. Espinal gets a defensive boost, speed boost for Tyler Wade. Jace Peterson +1. Jack Mayfield gets a big boost. I mentioned him. He's just had a weird power surge for the Angels. He's not actually good, but it is a nice jump. Y'all, this could be insane. It is kind of hilarious that here's a little defense for you, but the rest of your shit is absolutely tanked. This is going to be the ultimate test of how much ratings matter, and I'm still going to try it. I bet he's still going to rake in BR, dude. I bet. I freaking bet. And I can't wait to try him. I can't wait till he pops up in one of those common rounds, because we talk about it all the time with like Schwarbers and Sano's and Petersons. When they go bronze, we don't even care. It doesn't matter. But what about common? Can he start in on your BR squad, as a common? And this will be a great test. I can't wait to see. Jake Peter is the new second baseman. Do not know who that is. Miggy, almost went yard. Miggy's chasing down 500 homers, y'all. So very, very fun stuff. He just hit a double instead. 2 points for Jose Ramirez. He gets defense and speed boost. He's excellent. 3 points, for Manny Machado. Get some big love there. -1 for Arenado. Stays diamond, though. Big jump there for Devers. And hey, I will say, chat, you were on this one. Defense and speed for Devers. I think I only had him to an 84 or an 83. I wasn't quite there yet. Yeah, I had 83. I missed the speed component for sure. I also didn't know they were going to do speed. I thought it was just going to be defense. But the clutch also helped too. So the secondaries really pushed him over the edge. So I missed on this one. Hopefully you were in on Devers though. Big time jump there with 4 points. Cabrizi +1. Eduardo another +1. Turner. KB goes down a little bit. I'm excited to see what he can do in San Francisco though. I really like KB. He's easy to root for. Only 1 point for Riley. And the reason is because his splits are a disaster. And like, I wanted to be excited about him. I said 2 points, but he only gets 1. I was like, great period that he was having, great update period, but super uneven. 1237 OPS against righties, 626 against lefties. So it was really rough. Seager gets updated. Nooch move for JD Davis. Big ups there for P. Wizzy. I didn't know P. Wizzy had some defense coming his way, so he gets a nice little boost there. I like that for him. His power's been off the charts. And hey, if you have him in fantasy and you've been kind of bummed at the fact that he's been I did have defense. I'm an idiot. I said defense to match his Tops Now card and needs more power versus lefty and righty. And that's precisely what he got. Okay. I'm questioning myself, and I had the right thing. I'm an idiot. Anyway, if you have him in fantasy and you were worried that he wasn't playing every day, those worries are gone. They don't have enough players. Of course he's going to play every day. I think Sammy Sosa is starting for them tonight. Ty France +2. Apparently he's been playing with a bone bruise in his wrist all year. And bone bruise, it doesn't sound that bad. Like when you're like, oh, a bruise, big deal. No, bone bruise is bad. It's rough. To play through it is fucking really hard. And it's sapped some of his power, but he's playing through it, and he's still having a hell of a season. So that speaks well to him, man. He could probably have like an 850 OPS if he was fully healthy, but he's grinding it out, and good on him, gets up to 74. Christian Arroyo recently got a Tops Now card. You see he gets the defense and speed. That really helps him here get up to a 71. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Nobody's going to stop drafting Suarez and BR. It does not matter. Even -3 more points. I do not care at all. You cannot dissuade me from drafting Suarez. He's still going to crush. Toro gets nooched. He does get a little speed. He might start to get a little love offensively, though. He hit a couple homers off rip with Seattle. If he starts playing more and hitting more, don't be surprised if he ends up getting into the low 70s sooner than later. And then Noisy, Paredes, Ibanez, Evans, and Berger, nothing there to see. Devin Marrero back into the game. Moving over to shortstop, Tatis up 1. Turner up 2 with a big defensive boost. Bo Bichette, welcome to Diamond, good sir. You get a nice little speed boost, nice clutch boost. So runners in scoring position, he will be popping off. And then, of course, some requisite offensive boosts as well. Came in a little short on him. I think I put him for an 84. Let me see what my comment was on him. Very close. In another period like this, could bring Toronto their 5th diamond. So it's one of those where it's like, you already had to be in anyway. So while I was indeed wrong, I will own that I was wrong. I don't think I cost anybody stubs because he was like 4,700. It's like, it's not like you were going to go buy him for 300 stubs anyway. You had to already be in on Bo Bichette. So I will take the L, but I didn't cost y'all anything. And that's what I care about more than anything else. Little defensive love. Brandon Crawford's got his glove back, baby. I got him to an 83. They said no, 84. And all of a sudden, he's threatening diamond. And if he continues to hit the way he's been, Brandon Crawford could be diamond. Throw that on the laundry list of things with Odor and who was the other guy I mentioned? Oh, Robbie Ray. That, like, if you had told me they were going to have the seasons they had, I would have just been blown away. +1 for Story. If he had maybe gone to another team, he could have had like a big surge because he would have been happy about playing baseball. Instead, he's stuck with the worst organization in the universe. So yeah, he's not going back to Diamond just yet. Speaking of new teams, Baez going out to the Mets. We'll see what he can do out there. Maybe he gets back to Diamond. +3 for Tim Anderson. Exactly what I said was, Tim Anderson, don't sleep on a late season Diamond run. And now he's just 2 points away, so you better get in now because the community has always loved Tim Anderson. His price will indeed go up pretty quickly. Jose Iglesias gets a little speed. Dansby Swanson +1. He needs more, right? He needs more time is what I mean to say, not more points necessarily. I had him for +1. I was like, not quite yet. He's surging, but his full season numbers are still a little too shitty, and so he didn't quite get there. Now this one, I don't know. I'm not mad. Like, I had him for gold, okay? And obviously I'm holding for gold. They did everything I wanted. They gave him a fat defensive boost. They gave him offensive love. The only thing I would have thought maybe they could have done a little bit more was on the contact, because I thought that they could have isolated his Milwaukee numbers a little bit more and realized that he's basically been a gold since joining them, and that's who he is now. But I don't have any qualms with this, okay? So we don't get our gold yet on Adames. He was super cheap, though. Easy hold for gold. I'm going absolutely nowhere on this one. I'm not moving an ounce. I'll probably add more, to be honest. But I'm fine with this. I'm okay with it. I knew it wasn't a locked-in gold. My golds are ranked. And so Willy Adames being at the bottom, actually no, they weren't ranked this time. Sorry, I can't hide behind that because I didn't have Chris Taylor at the very top, and he was as locky as lock gets. So I can't hide behind that. But it was a 5-point boost, right? It was always going to be tough. So it was wrong. Just hold, just sit tight. Damn, 14 points of speed gets him 2 points, but he's terrible, so he's not going to go gold anytime soon. Polanco playing better, +3, but it's going to take even more to get him to gold. Same with the young. He does get some speed, though. Brendan Rodgers, +2. Nicky Lopez, welcome to silver. Luis Urias just misses silver. I think I had him getting to 75, didn't I? Oh, no, I had him for 74. Okay, I keep doubting myself, but I obviously never get anything wrong, so I should just always know. I just got done apologizing for Adames, and I'm like, I never get any wrong. Nah, I definitely did. But Urias is playing very well now. He needs to find a little bit more consistency, and he can get into silver, because it's like he'll have 2 great weeks and then a dreadful 10 days. 3 great weeks and then 2 awful weeks. It's like he can't find that consistency. The volatility's been huge with him this year. Marwinito, Culberson, Glabes gets nooched. Glabe getting nooched is interesting. I had him getting back, and I really, really thought, I guess versus righties he hasn't been good since the last update. I don't remember what his splits looked like. Honestly, I thought the defense alone would get him there. I am really surprised that this gets him nooched like this. I mean, you know what? We're going to blame it on the clutch again. We did that with somebody earlier. I can't remember who. We're doing it again. Don't ask questions. We're blaming it on the clutch. Little Eric Gonzalez love, Andres Jimenez, Adrianza, Orlando Arcia. Orlando Arcia's playing time went from like possibly starting every day to you are not going to see the field with like the 42 outfielders that the Braves got. Edmundo Sosa gets hella defensive and speed upgrades. That helps him get 6 points. That's nice for him. Taylor Walls defense, Tyro Estrada speed, and Owen Miller speed for those guys. And then Connor Justice, never heard of you. Welcome to the show. Or maybe, not even welcome to the show because he doesn't have a team yet. So just welcome to MLB The Show, but not the actual MLB. Soto +3, we knew that was coming. He's been playing his ass off. He was going to get a big defensive upgrade, and so he goes up to 88. He'll be something like 93 by the season's end, the way he's been playing lately. Although, actually maybe not, because my man is going to be walked so much, and the discipline's already at 122. They should just go ahead and put it up to 125, because he ain't seeing another pitch the rest of the year. Teoscar gets there. Big ups to Teoscar. I am on record as being very nervous about Teoscar coming into the year because the breakout that we saw last year didn't really look like a breakout. There was no real skill changes, so I was concerned that he was going to come back to earth. Well, he got better. He changed his skills this year. He's not the same guy he was last year, thus he's markedly better. So, again, I'm not trying to, when I say things like this, it's not trying to cover that I'm wrong or like say, don't hold me to account for it. I'm explaining my thought process. I stand by the thought process that last year was not a different Teoscar Hernandez. This year is, though, and he's a badass, and he's one of the easiest players to root for. Fun-loving guy, good dude, as far as we know. You know, we can only know what we know with interviews and things like that, but seems like a badass dude. I'm happy that he got a diamond. -2 for Giancarlo Stanton. Wink gets nooched, gets a little defensive love, but it's not enough to do anything because his offense is kind of stabilized a little bit. +2 for Randy. Let's go, baby. The defense gets us there. That was the big thing that had me predicting gold for him. I thought the defense alone should get us. The fact that his clutch, good thing he didn't lose clutch, because what if he had lost like 20 points there and then he would have freaking gotten nooched. Benintendi up 1, Peralta up 1. Oh, for speed. I was like, he's not been playing well. How did he get +1? Meadows +1 for speed only. Tommy Pham -1. Oof. McCutcheon +2. Rojas. Jay up. Grossman. Wade. Man, the growth of our boy Lamont Wade Jr. It's been so fun to watch. He is out here, dude. Like, now, he's a platoon guy big time. So I think silver is probably his peak, but he kills righties, dude. He doesn't care who you throw out there as a righty. He's ready to go. Miguel Andujar gets news. Ladies and gentlemen, your brand new center fielder for the Houston Astros, Chas McCormick. They traded away Miles Straw today, and McCormick's the only other guy who can really play there. Tucker can go there if you need to, but not really. And their GM, James Click, came out and said, part of the reason we did this trade is we believe that Chas McCormick has shown enough to be the guy more often than not. They also cut up a kid named Jake Myers from AAA who's been playing very well. He's also going to play some center field, but it's a big day for Chas McCormick. Jock Peterson nooched. Corey Dickerson -1. Does get some defensive love, though. Willie Calhoun gets a little speed. +13 and it's still only a 38. That's how you know you're slow. Billy McKinney, big defensive boost. Matt Joyce and Andrew Stevenson. And then the new guys, there are none. New guys at center field, Ronnie Dawson and Ryan Cordell. Cedric, Ced the Entertainer, gets a fat defensive boost and a +50 clutch. That gets him there. And again, I didn't have him. I had an 84. I didn't know that clutch was going to be updated like that. And he gets 50 points. So I know I've been kind of tongue-in-cheek blaming some things on clutch. I guarantee you that if he doesn't get that boost, he doesn't go diamond this time. So I'm going to blame it on the clutch again. But this is great. Big move here. Those of you who are in on Ced for diamond already, well done. I didn't get there. So I was not with y'all. I missed on that one big time. Big ups for Marte here with the defense and speed getting boosted. Trent Grisham +1, setting up a potential diamond. He's going to have a big hot streak, but he can get there. Ooh, how the mighty have fallen, although this turns him into a BR god, I would imagine, because Cody Bellinger's swing is still hot. Harrison Bader, man. This is an amplified version of the Stallings effect, wherein his defense is so good and so is his speed that he doesn't need to have the most elite offense to possibly get diamond, and yet he has been playing his ass off offensively, so he is very much a diamond candidate all of a sudden. And hats off to Harrison Bader, man. I did not think his offense would develop like this. This has been a really impressive run for him. -1 for Springer, +1 for Brian Reynolds, +3 for AJ Pollock. That was a lock. He was always going to go gold. That was an easy call. +1 for Kane, 4 for Nimmo, because he gets a lot of defensive and speed love. His defense has needed love for like 2 years running, so I'm glad they finally got that done for him. And of course, more discipline, because that dude can take walks against anybody. Hayes +2, Daza +2. Tapia gets nooched. Now, I think I had him for some defensive love that didn't come through, because I had him going gold. And, I mean, he's tied for 6th in defensive runs saved, 5th in UZR, and I said defensive boosts alone could get him gold, and he got nothing. So, I'll just go fuck myself. Sorry, I was wrong on that one. But I don't know. I don't know how to explain that one. Jake Fraley +2 on defense alone. We know his Tops now has diamond defense, so we should have seen a nice defensive boost coming for him. Kevin Kiermaier gets a little love, or no, gets nooched, excuse me. Engel gets hella defense and some offensive love, and boom, all of a sudden he's +5 as a silver. Well done for him. Steven Duggar gets a lot of defensive boosts. Taylor defense, Pilar +1. Tyrone Taylor gets +3. Big thing for Tyrone Taylor, some power against righties. He used to be just a heavy platoon guy. Actually hitting for some power against righties really helped him here, and all of a sudden he's silver. Speaking of the devil, Miles Straw, whatever. I mean, base running aggressiveness +34. That's okay, cool. +1 for Mercado. Badu gets +5, and now all of a sudden he's a silver potential. They couldn't finagle him a little bit. They couldn't give him a little extra just to get him there. I mean, you know, I don't want them to do something that's fictional. I don't want them to make up some numbers, but if he was going to get that close, I had him for a 73, so I'm not mad because I had him going silver. I'm just saying if he's that close, just throw him a little love. I feel like his defense is running a little light with all 60s across the board, but maybe not. Shogo Akiyama +1. Nooch move for Brett Phillips, friend of the community. Nooch for Goodwin, Lurie Garcia, Bradley Zimmer, Nick Heath. Nobody here that's really jumping out. And then we're back to Ced the Entertainer, Dawson and Cordell. I already looked at them. And then Eric Falia and Nathan Dukes. Okay, I've actually heard of Falia's name. I don't know Nathan Dukes. +1 for Mookie Betts. This is a catch-up because obviously he's not playing. So this was them kind of getting right with his full season numbers at this point. Bryce Harper +1. Joey Gallo gets nooched, but does get some more power against righties. I mean, still a great card. Kyle Tucker is our next diamond potential that I'm definitely going to be investing in. I think he's going to get diamond by the end of the year. Obviously, he has to perform, but I think he's on the trajectory that says he's going to continue to perform. Some defensive love for Adolis Garcia. And here's the thing. and I hope I kind of made this clear in the update video when I said he's going to go to 83, but I still wouldn't invest in him for Diamond because this is going to be a one-time defensive boost that is going to get him here. And unless he goes on another hot streak, his offense has really come back to earth. So, oh, he got nooched, by the way. I actually had him going, I thought he was going to go to 84, but he ended up getting nooched. So even more to my point, you do not want to invest in him for Diamond. Like, you absolutely do not. Unless you start to see him get hot, do not do it. You're wasting stubs if you do. +1 for Renfroe, +2 for Avi Garcia. I didn't know his speed was going to get boosted. Well done there. I've had him for gold in the past. I did not have him for this week, but I did say last update that I was not getting off the train, so hopefully you stuck with me. Our train finally arrives at the station, baby. Let's go. Adam Duvall gets there. Now, someone in my chat was like, I think it was Riven, was like, nah, dude, he's going to get there. I was like, I don't know. I put 79. I'm sticking with what I got, but I'm still investing in him, so we'll see. He gets there. Well done. Big boosts, +13 and 17 on the defense, gets him all the way there. The clutch at 37 certainly helps as well, but that probably just moved it from 80 to 81 if we're being honest. Mitch Haniger gets there. That was as locky as lock gets. This one's painful, man. I thought we had a sneak one here, y'all. I really thought Charlie Blackmon was going to go gold for us because he has such improved defense that I really thought that he could. So I had him going gold. He comes up short. I'm probably going to keep the shares I have and in hopes that he can spike a little offensive run, but that's a bummer, man. I really thought we had something sneaky, and we came so close. Nooch move for Kep Deasy. +2 for Reyes. I refuse to invest in Reyes for gold anymore. You can do that on your own. You're not going to hear me doing it. Austin Slater defense. Kirilloff, big defense. Unfortunately, that's going to be it for him. His season is over. Adam Eaton, some defensive love. Aquino, +1. Jank, Almonte, Sanchez, Polanco, and Rayleigh. And that will do it for roster update number 7. It was a banger, baby. They came through big. The defensive speed, the secondary stat updates with the defense, speed, clutch, and all that was awesome and really helped turn this one into a pretty good one. We had to wait an extra week because of the All-Star game week off, which is good, by the way. This wouldn't have been as good without an extra week of games. So I know some of y'all were like, come on, I need stubs, and I get that. But this made it better, I promise you. And so we're going to be back on our every 2-week schedule. I'll find some names for you. I'll update the hold for gold sheet over the weekend. We got a bunch of new silver, so there's going to be a lot of guys to talk about. I already hinted at a few throughout this update. And again, if you're watching this on YouTube, twitch.tv/Spore, come on out. You're probably not going to be seeing this until Saturday. It's already 7:30, and I have to edit the video a little bit more than just clipping it off of Twitch and putting it on YouTube. So it's going to be on Saturday, but I will be streaming on Saturday, so come through twitch.tv/Spore. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.